Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, this week I brought out something really cool, and it's something that I wasn't looking for, but stumbled across, and that's this week's tip. The time to buy something is when you see it, because you may never get a chance to get that item again. You may not have been looking for that particular item, but once you saw it, you understand the value and you understand how tough it may be to find another one. So that's this week's tip. Don't put off buying something and thinking you're going to get a better deal later on, because in this hobby, you may not get a second chance. It's not like coins where there's 100,000 Morgan dollars and you can just wait till next week to pick up one. In this hobby, there's so few notes that if you want one, the time to buy it is when you see it. All right, so you'll see what I'm talking about a little bit later. But anyway, here's the 1,000 in singles. Let's get these out of the way. Let's take a look at what I found this week. Starting off with a Where's George. Very familiar pattern for me on this Where's George. I will log this one right away. I think it's one that I've already used up my 20 finds on. This user is local, so I tend to find a lot of his notes. Found a birthday note. This one's 1965. That would be December 19th, 1965. Pretty good condition on this one. Another birthday note. This one's 1998. That would be July 13th, 1998. And this isn't a fancy serial number. It's the opposite of a fancy serial number. What I mean by that is it's a really high number. Remember, these only go up to 96 million. And if you were to read this like a full number, that would be 95,998,594. So this note is 1,406 away from the end. So yeah, if it was the opposite number of what it would be 00001006. So yeah, that's a pretty high number. There's only 1,000 notes roughly that are higher than this. That's why I pulled this one. I like saving high numbers just as much as people like saving low numbers. Let's see, got a trinary. This one is 5s, 6s, and 9s. And this note actually reminds me of a note that I showed probably a year or so ago, and I probably still have somewhere, which is what I used for my rotator note. My rotator note, I remember, was 6556 9559, and this one is 9569. So this is within 10 away of just randomly matching two numbers yet again. So that was pretty close. But this one is a trinary. This is 5s, 6s, and 9s. This is another trinary, 3s, 6s, and 8s. 0s, 4s, and 8s on this one. 1s, 2s, and 3s. At a glance, that looks like it's a radar or a repeater or something. Nope, it's not. It's really close, but nope. What do we need? We needed this 2 to be a 3 or that 3 to be a 2, I think is what we needed there. Either way, just a trinary. 0s, 4s, and 5s on this one. Let's see. 796, 76797. Just a trinary. 6s, 7s, and 9s. Looks like a repeater, looks like an alternator, looks like so many different things. Nope, just a trinary. 0s, 2s, and 3s on this one. Kind of neat, all the 3s together, all the 2s together, separated by a 0. 1s, 4s, and 5s on this note. This one's got quad 1s all together. Quad 6s to start this one. Quad 7s. And my stars. 2017A, always checking to see if those are solid stars. Another 2017A. 2017. Another 2017. This one's pretty rough shape. I think that's a tear. Let's see. Another 2017. 2013 B note. One of the potentially double printed notes. Another 2013. And another 2013. So I had quite a few stars in this particular batch. I did find some older notes. This one's 1999. 1995, first shot at a web note. Looking over here, You can see all this printing over here, so it's definitely not a web note. You can also see right here, it does have a location marker, this G1 here, so that's an indication that it's not a web note. A web note was printed on a continuous roll of paper, so there was no location. So this G1, there would be nothing there. And on this side, there would only be a single digit, no FW, no letter, just one single digit. Another 95, not a web note. This one's in much better shape. Another 95. Looks like a 96. It's so brutalized, but it's a 95. They didn't make them a 96. Still not a web note. 1988. And the oldest note I found, a 1977A. So yeah, that's cool. I don't find notes in the 70s too often. And the other thing with that 77 is it's a New York note, a B note. So it's not a Chicago. I find so many Chicagos when I find notes from the 70s other than Chicago. That always leads me to believe it is a spot filler in my book. So what did I pull out this week? Well, I've been chatting back and forth for a number of months with my friend Dennis. Dennis was a subscriber, and we've been talking back and forth, getting to know each other. And Dennis said that he had something that he was looking to sell and was wondering if I had any interest in it. And it turns out I did. It wasn't anything I had planned on buying, but when he told me what it was, it's one of those things that you just kind of have to get. So what was it? Well, let me show you. So I'm going to apologize right off the bat for the shakiness of this particular image because I can't use my tripod to show this. It's too big. With my tripod, you would see about this much. This is just really cool. So what is this? Okay, this is an uncut sheet of Canadian $1 bills. Okay, let's just come in on one of these here so you can see what's going on. That's a Canadian $1 bill. Now, some of you guys are going to be shaking your head going, there's no such thing as a Canadian $1 bill. They have loonies and toonies. They just have coins. They don't have paper money. Wasn't always the case. They did. They used to have paper money. Now, they used to have paper money. I want to say 1996 was the last time that they did it, or 1998, or something to that effect. But you're talking more than 20 years ago was the last time that they used paper currency. For singles, that is. And, well, that was more than 20 years ago. Those were 1996 editions or whatever the case was. These are actually 1973. You can see right there, right underneath the N and A in Canada, you can see it says Ottawa 1973. So this is an uncut sheet of Canadian $1 bills from 1973. Let's just go up here on the top real quick. You can see the serial numbers. The end digit is 0445. If you go over one, it's 0945, 01445. So they go up 500 this way, and then if you go down, that's 1445. The next one is 3945. So they go up 1500 down. Anyway, this is just really, really cool to have an uncut sheet of Canadian $1 bills. Now, I didn't know I wanted one of these, but this is what I can tell you about them. Okay, so since these have not been printed, $1 bills that is, since $1 bills have not been printed in Canada for well over 20 years, you can't get uncut sheets of $1 bills. But even when they printed $1 bills, they didn't sell uncut sheets. You had to go back to 1973. This is one of the only years that Canada actually produced uncut sheets of $1 bills. And I will lift up a corner here, and you can see I've got my US dollars here. But yeah, the back, that's an uncut sheet, front and back. So that's pretty cool on there. I don't want to try to show the back because I'm trying to keep this in really nice shape. So what else can I tell you about these? Well, If you wanted to buy an uncut sheet of American dollars, you could get that from the Federal Reserve, and they usually go for about 80 bucks. The problem is that the Fed isn't printing money right now, so you can't get one. As soon as people realized you can't get the uncut sheets of American dollars, anybody with uncut sheets pretty much doubled the price to about $200 if you want an uncut sheet. So a current uncut sheet of US $1 bills goes for around 200 bucks. The only prices I could find on this uncut sheet were also in that $200 range. But that was also, I think, from 2004. So yeah, if modern $1 US currency notes, which are readily available in this country in comparison, are going for $200, then what does that make this uncut sheet worth? I have no idea. But what I'm going to do, because I don't have one, I have three. So with three of these sheets, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one up on eBay, and I'm just going to put a ridiculous price on it and see what kind of offers I get. And depending on the offer will depend on how far I ship it. So if you're from Canada and you want to bring this baby home, you are not eliminated from the pool. You have a chance at getting this as well. So yeah, I'm going to take some pictures of this. I'll put this up on eBay and just to see what kind of offers I get. Because it's something that you just don't get a chance to see. I mean, how often do you get a chance to bid on one of these? So I found that pretty amazing. I am definitely keeping one for myself. If you're interested, you can go to my eBay store, literally search Stu Pluback. I put up a welcome mat featuring the name Stu Pluback, and that'll pop up as soon as you search for Stu Pluback. Just look to view other items, and you're going to see this there. So we'll see what this actually goes for. I'm really curious. But yeah, I had to have it when I heard about it. So we'll see what happens there. Dennis, thank you very much for telling me about this. I really appreciate it. I never knew that stuff like this existed. You know, you always see American currency like this, but never from Canada. All right, guys, if you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.